This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I will be playing the Pulp Cthulhu role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The campaign is Two Headed Serpent. It was written by Paul Fricker, Scott Dorward, and Mathew Sanderson. It's available directly from Chaosium, and it's also available from Drive-Thru RPG. I'm the Keeper of Arcane Lore, and this is Episode 4. Our recap will be given by Kent Blue as his hero, Jack Buzz Bellamy. So without any further delays, let's continue our journey into the darkness. Kent?
Field notebook of Jack Buzz Bellamy. To be mailed to Francesca Morales. Frankie, I'm keeping this field journal to document my adventure here. Yes, I'm calling it an adventure. You'll see why. I'm writing this by crappy lamplight at the bottom of some hole in the ground. A little more on that in a bit, as we decide our next move. Figure I'd give you the straight of it. The village here is getting ready for something they call the Festival of Pillows. I don't know, purple flowers everywhere, offerings, stories about a wise woman from the sky who will lead folks to the land of dreams. I don't know. Some of the others are a little more into that stuff. Not me. While they were taking that in, I parked on the radio and caught a transmission that wasn't meant for us. Strangers in the village. That'd be us. Do something about it. That didn't sound good. So we moved first. We slipped the guards up by their huts, gave them a good bonk on the head, and got in there and found crates of grenades, rifles, a second map. This one looked a lot like the one we'd been given, but it was marked up in what looked like search grids near that battlefield we've been hearing about. Again, I don't know much about that. So I got to working on what I do know, using my hands. You'd be proud of the early morning system I rigged up for us, Frankie. Grabbed a dozen or so of those grenades and strung them up together where if someone stepped on the line just right, kaboom. Laid a few of them where Stoney and Doc Harrow thought would be likely entry points from the forest and waited. Didn't take long. A column came out of the tree line right where we thought. 2 officers, a bunch of enlisted, and 2 creatures that looked part wolf, part big lizard. You read that right. Some weird creature. My early warning system worked beautifully. Blew a hole clean through one of the lizard dogs, dropping it to the ground. Shots rang out, we traded with the enemy. Doc Green kept the villagers tucked in and safe. One of their officers shouted orders in that strange language that sounded like static I'd heard earlier. So I reckon it isn't static, it's just the way they talk. Another threw himself in front of a shot meant for his captain. Then that captain put him down himself. Mercy, maybe? Didn't feel like it, though. Then Goose oozed out of the shadows to get the drop on the captain. Got in a little tussle, tore his skin, and what under it wasn't human. It was scaly like a reptile. It spat something caustic into Gustav's eyes and slipped away, blowing into this odd little curled whistle as it fled. The sound it produced was weird, like I swear I felt it in my chest. A moment later, we began to hear a terrible sound of something tearing through the jungle. Miss Meadows from up the radio tower told us something big was coming and put a round into one of the remaining lizard wolf thing and sent it limping off. The soldiers were still pushing us, still looking mesmerized, so I tossed one of my bottles of special toxic plant goop up over their head and Stoney shot it like a Olympic marksman. Green plant goop rained down all over them. I'm sure it burned like hell, but it snapped them out of it. As for the big thing coming through the jungle, well, it introduced itself. A black, oily mass full of green eyes and too many mouths poured out of the jungle. To be honest, I wasn't sure what to do with such a thing. All I know is oil catches fire, and that thing looked pretty oily. So I lit the stick of dynamite I've been carrying around since our last firefight and threw. Luckily, Dr. Harrow had come into possession of that weird whistle. The doc blew into it at the right moment when that thing stopped right on top of the dynamite and as it exploded. Fire ran across it, eyes popping like balloons. When the smoke drifted, the jungle went quiet. We took stock. The officer we recovered wasn't a man at all under the loose skin. Fangs, venom glands, tail wound up inside the human suit. I don't know. I was able to reach Shapiro on the radio and finally put some names to things. Calls the big oily one a formless spawn tied to this inner night we'd been hearing about. Says serpent folk can pass for human, but their shadows don't always match. Says to watch out for the tails. The head man here in the village told us the festival offerings go to 5 old pillow stones set around the jungle. We followed the soldiers' maps to one of them. It was smashed, looked like it took a direct hit in the battle from a few weeks ago. And in its place was a shaft maybe 50 feet across, dropping a long way down with a spiral stair cut into the wall. Stoney estimated about 1,000 feet based on his dropped rock test. We did the only thing we could do. We went down. The walls changed as we descended from dressed stone to a bronze-colored metal covered in reliefs and paintings telling a whole history. Serpent folk farming, crafting, and then fighting. Red, blue, gold, different factions, I'm guessing. Near the bottom, the reliefs showed a grand temple with 5 pillars around it and a crowned serpent queen holding a flail and a scepter. Last panel shows her lying on a slab, something triggered, and the temple sinking into the earth. Seeing that, I figure the hole we were in is one of the drills or something that took it down into the dirt. The place feels like a machine, not just a tomb. The seams and slots look built to move. So here's where we stand. Soldiers puppeted, at least 2 serpent officers, I think, are still out there. A whistle that calls awful things from the forest. And here we are, just standing in this machine. That's the lot of it. Keep it between us for now, especially if Caduceus comes knocking. Seems like they're on the right side of this mess, but who really knows when it's all wrapped up in this weird stuff. Hide this log and any other that come after where you keep your special projects. And while you're in there, look through some of our old plans, especially things we may have filed under too weird for actual use. The way things are going, I'm going to need some weird. Keep the shop running. I know you will. And with minimal new holes in the walls. I know you won't. Remember Miss Cartwright's bringing her independence in at the end of the month. Check out the modifications that Hack Donaldson did. Point out to her how bad they are and float her a special rate for us to do them right. Remind her what she needs in her line of work, and we know what her boss expects. Buzz.
Excellent. So you find you are still down in the bottom of this shaft. But there doesn't seem to be anything else down here. It does appear to be part of some giant mechanism, but you don't see any way of changing it or altering it, or you think it may have already been activated. And Giorgio had told you that there was an earthquake during the battle.
Can
You
I
guys
like
wanted to.
I'd like to just put my ear against the wall and see if I can actually hear anything mechanical that might be moving.
Go ahead and do a listen for me.
Okay. Oh, a 91. No.
You don't hear anything. And it's cold. I mean, the wall is cold.
Certainly, if this is still an active mechanism in any sense, I don't want to be in it when it operates, but perhaps we can find, Buzz, you should keep an eye out for anything like a trigger or control mechanism. It seems so vast, though. Perhaps in addition to the 5 pillars or shafts, there's a 6th element that controls them simultaneously, where the Serpent Queen's throne would be, or I don't know.
Yeah, I reckon somewhere in the middle here, these connect to whatever that place is. I've just been looking around everywhere trying to pick out anything I can that might, be a trigger or
Well,
potentially opening.
you don't see any kind of a trigger, but you definitely do see in the pictograms
Yeah.
that it would indicate that there are 5 of these and that the temple is in the center.
Yeah.
Well, just Giorgio said that there was an earthquake alongside the battle. Uh, do you know, Giorgio, about there being a volcano in the area, currently or
Um,
historically?
Not that I've ever heard of.
So the legends regarding the pillows and the wise woman don't have any don't mention a volcano in there.
No, I doesn't mention these snake people either.
Yes, do you think those would come up? Well, we should begin our ascent because it's going to be tedious. We'll want to take breaks. And it's much
Well,
cooler down here.
before we head up, in the pictograms, do we see any um, pictures of this formless mass that we saw, or the whistle?
No, you don't see anything like that. Um, the main things that are depicted are, well, as you are descending, you see snake people, and then you see the different factions, it looks like, of snake people, and then you see giant hairy creatures, but you also see little tiny human-shaped people as well.
Is there anything littering the floor or anywhere, or any like out anything that if they had carved any of this, are there tools lying about? Is there anything besides rocks from the top that had fallen down, or is it just completely bare?
What you would guess is this place was probably almost dust-free, hermetically sealed, and it's just the rubble from the exploded top that's down here.
Okay.
I mean, some of the things in here are polished. And the paintings are in perfect condition. An archaeologist would lose his mind.
But there's nothing that you can remove. It is just all the wall itself is
Yeah,
the art, the history.
correct.
About how far are these, Giorgio, about how far are these pillars away from each other? Like, can we
A
figure
few
we could,
miles.
okay, figure we could triangulate and find the middle and look in that area to see if there's something that looks like an entrance. I mean, I'm assuming there wasn't a giant temple sitting here just a couple weeks ago.
Nothing that we've ever found. And we tend not to come into this area very often, except on our festival because it's sacred. Um, I have to admit, too, that my intention was just to bring you to the battleground, not, and then to go back. I mean, I've got other duties that I have to take care of, but
Yeah.
this is extraordinary. I had no idea that one of the pillows had been destroyed, or that there
Oh,
was anything underneath it.
I mean, I think if you got duties to get back to, I think we need to spend some time out here trying to at least familiarize ourselves with the other pillows and maybe see what we can find in the middle of them all.
Well, if once we get out, I can give you a general direction of 2 of the pillows. Um, uh, he doesn't really state it mathematically, but he says if you get to the next pillow, then you turn 72 degrees, and you go to the next pillow, 72 degrees.
Yeah, I reckon these things aren't going to be haphazardly out here. There's going to be some sort of pattern
They're in
or
they're in a
line.
pentagram.
Yeah.
All right, so without any real danger or anything, you climb back up to the top of it. Um,
Uh,
you
going up the top, I just kind of want to trail behind if it's possible and go up to Fern and just start talking to her. What do you think any of this has to do for a mummy?
oops, you stuck just a little bit there. Could you repeat that? Dakota, you froze for a second. Could you repeat what you said?
Oh, I did. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, so I was just noticing we're here for a mummy. What does this have to do with a mummy?
Your guess is as good as mine. I thought we were here to deliver aid to the people that needed our help. I mean, I don't know much about mummies. I know about plants. And another mystery is we seem to be in a machine. It was showing this machine thing descending into to the earth, but who put those giant stones on top?
I frankly, I don't know why we're what the hell? Like just to put it bluntly, like this doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. I'm very confused, but I feel like there's these factions. It was showing these different, I don't know, hierarchical serpent people. I think there's more than one group at play here.
Do any of you have archaeology?
You know,
1%.
I have 8.
I have 1 in 99 luck.
You can always try. You have luck.
I'll try.
While we're rolling, I'm paying a lot more attention.
I can spend 10 to get it. I got 11. Oh,
Excellent.
Nice.
Well,
That-
perhaps not with the level of knowledge of an archaeologist, but looking around you at this has got to be tens of thousands of years old in your estimation. This is ancient. And unlike anything in any civilization that you've ever seen.
yeah, I don't know, but this is something that predates any history that we might have records of on Earth. I have no idea though where
So-
these things came from or why they chose to be here.
So we're just out here on a treasure hunt. We're looking for like an ancient mummy.
Well, I don't know if I'd call it treasure, but
What else would you call this? Like we're in the middle of the jungle on a pretense of delivering aid to go and find this mysterious dead thing that probably has a whole bunch of items with it, these priceless relics.
well, that Shapiro was making it sound like Caduceus deals with all this sort of weird stuff all the time. Like, I don't know, like we're supposed to be saving the rest of the population from knowing about these things. I have no idea.
Is there a chance that maybe we're here as unethically to take things that don't belong to us to retrieve them for this group? Unwittingly, unpaid, risking our lives.
Well, who would be the collector?
So far, we know this group named Caduceus and we know what Shapiro. For all we know, it could just have been Shapiro and this other man that claimed to be our friend that led us out into the middle of a jungle.
You think the founder of Caduceus is some collector of occultist artifacts and is just using very well qualified and educated people to go find it for him?
Why not? We're expendable. We're not exactly out here doing what we're supposed to do. We're out here supposed to be delivering aid, so it'd be kind of it wouldn't be all that out of the realm of possibility delivering aid in a war-trodden area to catch a bullet and whoops, they disappeared in the middle of the jungle.
I mean, I see your point, but I still feel like we don't know enough yet to be making solid statements like that. We don't know what they want these things for, why they sent us out here to get them.
I think that because of the acoustics inside the shaft and you guys walking up, the other players can do listen rolls to see if they can hear what you guys are whispering about. And it's only fair.
Yep, I can hear.
So you're welcome to chime in.
I'm really focused on paying attention now that I know we're probably in a machine that looking at the walls and everything.
Yeah, I'm making some rubbings of the bas reliefs so that I don't hear anything over the rustling, apparently, at 87.
Jack, you can do spot hidden for me.
Okay. That's too much luck. Nope.
Speaking of luck, you guys did roll your luck, didn't you? I think you did.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just spent a whole lot of it last time.
All right.
Something I thought of, Keeper, the whistle that I retrieved that's partially shaped like a sour pill bug. What material is that made out of, as far as I can tell?
You're not sure. It has the gloss of like ivory, but it's black.
Oh, okay.
Maybe some sort of shell.
It could well be something ancient too, then, given that
Indeed, correct.
That fellow looks like a member of one of these civilizations. Perhaps at some point I can do a scratch test on it and see if we can determine. I'd be curious even about whether it's an organic material.
Yeah. If you get a Mohs test, you can see how hard it is, what it's made out of. All right. So within, I'd say, probably a half an hour, you've worked your way up 1,000 feet. You've jumped past the gaps once again. And we'll say that you are just 10 feet from coming out of the hole. What do you guys want to do? Do you want to proceed? Do you want to proceed without caution?
I feel like we should proceed with caution.
It's a fall. It's a very far fall. So yes, I would be cautious.
All right. So as you go ahead.
Nothing. I was just gonna say I expect like detritus and other junk and things that have collapsed from the ceiling to like litter the floor. So I'm looking out for things that may or may not trip me or roll my ankle, and then there's no, handrail, and then I go toppling over.
All right, you get to the top, and without just coming out of the hole, you kind of make sure that nobody has followed you or, is lingering, because some of them, those lizard or snake people are still out there. Yeah, they did get away. But you don't see anything as you come out. Giorgio says, he stands there with his hands on his hips, looking around very carefully, and he's like, well, the key to the next stone was written on the top of it, and it's not there anymore. We came from the village there, so I think you could either go, he goes like this way or this way. But there's one in each direction. We normally go this way and keep turning towards the left as we go. There's not enough, the jungle grows, so there's not really any landmark for me to, get my bearing. I just go in that direction. But probably you'll see evidence of me having passed that way in the past.
And each
There'll be
of
a
the
little bit of a warmth.
pillows is of a similar size and shape to the one that was destroyed here.
Yes, although the area around them is quite a bit different.
Hmm.
Um,
But there aren't any other massive stones at the surface like this, I assume.
no, and there are some hills towards the center.
Oh.
Um,
Ah,
but um, I mean, if what you're, we've never seen anything there. You can, I mean,
Well,
that's I just you sort of keep that in mind, which direction you're going
hmm.
with a 72-degree.
Uh, is is this man sending us off to our death, or maybe sending us in a wrong direction, from what I can tell, to keep us away from his sacred artifacts?
I mean, you can do a psychology roll, but so far he doesn't seem like he's trying to deceive you in any way.
I don't think I'm really trusting anyone out of this whole thing.
Of course.
Something's not right.
And also because he
Uh,
needs to dismiss himself and get back and tell them that
that
this pillow's been destroyed.
that is an extreme success.
Yeah, you're pretty sure he's telling the truth. But what
Okay.
choice you have, anyways? So,
Uh,
so we'll
Giorgio,
go ahead.
I'd just
That's
like
nice
to,
and ominous.
we have our original map that we came with. We have the snakeskin map, which overlays it precisely. Where is this pillow on those combined maps, if you'd remind us of that?
Oh, well, on your gold map, it's dead center. It's the center of the thing.
Right.
And on your other map, it's just in the general area of the battleground.
Right. So if we want to go to the next pillow that's in the direction that our attackers have not yet visited, we should go to the southwest of the two possible points on the
I have to
star.
put it in my brain to see southwest. Yes, that would be. They didn't look like they had searched in that area at all.
Right. So given that the two angles are similar, we might as well go in the direction that they haven't searched yet. Because they
or
presumably are still seeking their mummy or whatever this artifact is.
why not try and head for the center? Those hills in the center.
I think it'll be easier to find the center once we have at least 2 points on the star. And the pillow is a fairly good landmark to find. We know what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Whereas if we get lost in the hills in the middle, we could be very confused.
I'd actually like to see a complete top of one of these pillows as well. I think that would be very insightful to see that, what it looks
Should
like.
we
Right.
figure
And
out
maybe
a
Buzz
way?
can figure out how these things, the mechanics work on them. Maybe we can somehow break it so it can't work.
Oh, that's a good idea. Sorry for interjecting, but should we also figure out a way of leaving a trail that we can follow to get ourselves out of these woods, so that
Well,
we're
if we
not
leave a
lost out
trail,
here.
it's also going to be something for somebody else to follow us.
Yes, I understand that. I happen to have brought a few of these, and I show, like, in my pocket a couple of the grenades. If you wish to rig up any of those explosive devices like you did earlier, please be obliged. I do not want to die out here, lost in the middle of the jungle.
I mean, we could put hatchet marks on the trees.
Yep. We'll make
Yeah.
sure if you die, you won't be lost at least.
Well, thank you. That's very kind and considerate, Jack.
I will take those grenades, though.
I frankly feel safer if you had them in your satchel, Jack. A pocket is no place for grenade, frankly, Dr. Green. Which reminds me, thinking as it's been mentioned, as Tony mentioned, that it'd be interesting to see one of the pillow tops intact. Giorgio said that there were markings that are similar to the writing on the snakeskin map. So perhaps, Dr. Green, you can begin to see if you can piece together any sort of sense of this language. It might be very useful to compare these markings with the writing that we have. If we could read what they left behind, we'd have a bit of an advantage, I think.
I can certainly do that. Yes, I can do that. Just trying to think of the best way of recording the language so far so that I have enough to analyze and compare to one another so that I can actually make sense of something.
Oh, don't worry about that, dear. I can I can keep it up here for you.
Is
Right,
Giorgio
so
armed? Does Giorgio come with a gun?
well, yeah, considering the battle,
Okay,
yeah, he
good.
probably
Okay.
does
I
have
was going to say, he may not be sending us to our death. We may be sending him to his, going back by himself, unarmed. But,
Jack, I'm going to hand you 3 hand grenades.
yes. Thank you.
All right, so you guys continue. You guys decide to move to the pillow on your left instead of towards the right.
Hmm.
Um, the jungle is pretty thick, but after a while, you do kind of notice that there is a natural rut that sort of leads through. It seems like an animal trail, but not a very big one. Something that's just been there for centuries of whatever animals live in the jungle that travel back and forth. Um, Go ahead and do. I need whoever's got the least amount of luck can do a group luck roll.
I have 62, which I normally would feel like is not the lowest, but right now, probably.
Is that the lowest? Yeah.
I've got the
Yeah.
highest. Well, I'm tied for highest.
Sorry you all died. That was a 71.
Okay. All right. So as you're going along, you haven't gotten very far. You've traveled maybe a mile. You start to notice something in the trees. It looks like a bunch of branches have been smashed down,
Mhm.
and you can see areas that look like burn marks. There was a battle over here recently, so you're wondering if there was also damage in this area. And the scene looking up the trees, it starts to sort of align as you're going along, and you can see a clear area through the trees that it looks like something came down and punched its way through the jungle at an angle and probably landed, oh, maybe 50 feet over there. I mean, it gives you the feeling like a meteorite or something like that. There's high grass and bushes, but they also look like they have burn marks and things like that on them. As you approach that area, you start to notice little bits and baubles of things in the grass, sparkly things that look like, well, chunks of metal and like, was it an airplane? An airplane that came down, and as it was crashing through the trees, it was snapping little bits and pieces of it off. Um, that doesn't look like a bolt, but it looks something like a bolt. Uh, and as you get closer to that area where it must have crashed, you can see the grass and the bushes are all kind of burnt around it. And there's these big chunks of glass. But they're not just random chunks. It looks almost like there was something here that was a sphere made out of glass. And estimating how big it would have been, you think it might have been maybe 7 feet across this sphere. And there's big chunks of it lying all around in this burned area. And there's also some weird chunks of metal and a strange sort of column that's fallen over to the side in the center. What to do?
I pick up some of the metal and anything that looks like a bolt or anything like that. Just start, if it's small enough to go in a pocket, it's going in a pocket.
And it gives you the impression that it's very dense metal, but it's very light, which is strange. It should feel heavier in your hands than what it feels. And the glass is also kind of strange. The way that it's shattered, it didn't shatter the way glass normally shatters, but you don't know why. That also is fairly light, but almost unbreakable when you try to break it yourself. And then there's that column that's sort of knocked over. It looks like some sort of mechanism.
The the singed plant life, uh, if we inspect it carefully, should perhaps give us some idea of how long ago this object crashed through the canopy. If there's wet sap, dry sap, leaves that have died since they were injured, or growth that's developed afterwards. Somebody who's really intently aware of the natural world, perhaps you, Miss Meadows, can try to estimate how long ago this came through.
I might be able to.
Yep. Whatever you think would be appropriate, botany or
Okay. 38 over 70.
recently, probably within a week or so.
More
The plants
recently
are still
than the battle.
more
So
recently
this would
than the
have had to
battle.
happen. Yes, this would have had to happen after the battle.
So my initial instinct is that since this reptilian foes of ours don't seem to be uh, currently resident in this area, although apparently they were in ancient days, I wonder whether they didn't learn about the eruption slash, destruction of the stone and then crash land here, but it doesn't seem as though they would sound as though they were limping away from the scene. And I'm not sure that pieces here are large enough to really be a vessel.
Yeah, I figure. I mean, if it was, just what I'm looking at, I mean, one snake person vessel.
A solo.
Yeah.
Well, if we look at the concave part of the sphere, do we see any organic material?
No. What you do see is the glass itself. It looks like it makes up most of the sphere. So the sphere was crystal clear, but shattered, except right towards the base of it. There's, like I say, this sort of pillar, this metallic looking pillar that's smashed up. But it looks like it might have attached to that.
Yeah, I'll give a closer look at that pillar.
Yeah, there's definitely some sort of mechanism here. Um, there's a place where part of the metal is peeled back because of the impact, and you can see there's all sorts of wires and boxes and little spheres inside, and they're connected all together. And
So that's some sort of steering column, Buzz?
That's what I'm thinking.
For a glass shuttlecraft?
Yeah, I mean, and this, kind of hand over a piece of the metal. It's light, very light metal, but durable. And I mean, the glass looks like it's pretty durable. So I mean, this thing had to be coming in pretty heavy to break apart, I would think. I mean, I don't know, but I'm gonna get my fingers in this thing and start taking some parts of it.
So this
go ahead.
this thing was about a week ago that it crashed here. The soldier that we that came out of his hypnotized state, they were on patrol 1 or 2 weeks ago. So let's say 1 week.
Mm-hmm. So the thing
think,
that's
like-
inside Captain LaFuente came out of this. I mean, maybe they travel as smaller creatures in the same way that the tail was sort of tucked away inside the human disguise. Three little snake people in a pod. I don't
Guess that's
know.
not. I guess that's possible. Yeah. I mean, think about it that
Um,
way.
Doctor, do you realize you sound crazy?
You saw the giant black slimy thing with all the eyes and mouths, right?
But
if you
something
feel
coming
this,
from the sky inside of a glass box that's flying, and it's here and it's taking over people's bodies.
you saw the
There
lizard guy
has to be a
inside the
limit
human.
somewhere.
We're,
Not
we're
sure we
beyond the
found that
threshold
yet.
of, I mean,
I
we're
mean,
beyond not believing stuff. We're like,
truth be told, we're probably standing over a giant temple, or at least part of it right now that buried itself into the ground.
Yeah,
An
but do
ape
you
basically.
think the pillow being destroyed is what triggered this thing to umizoomi back here and crash?
That part is purely speculation.
Jack, do a POW roll.
Hey, I passed that one. 13. That is hard. So,
Okay. When you're fiddling around with some of this, there's part of it that almost looks like a green crystal that's in there, cut like a diamond, so it's sparkling. And as you sort of reach in there and see if it looks like it's in a holder where you could pop it out.
yeah.
As you reach out and touch it, you feel an odd sort of tingling sensation run through your system, and your own vision, um, looking around you, it's like everything is winking off and on. And the only time you've ever felt anything like that is when you accidentally touched something electric and you realized in your shop you were being electrocuted, but you don't feel any pain. But as that happens, your natural physical reaction is to jump back from
Yeah.
it. But when you jump back from it, it levitates and jumps back from you.
Ooh.
And
I
then
said,
it immediately just crashes back to the ground.
that was an
the hell
excellent
was
trick,
that?
Buzz.
Oh, I want it. I want this thing. Yeah. Well, it's got a like stone in it, like a green stone. And when I touched it, because I wanted to get it out of there, I mean, it looks, I don't know. It's the only thing that's not really metallic looking. So I, it's like I was being shocked, like grabbed, exposed wire, but there was no pain. Like I don't know.
And it moved away, sort of a reaction and opposite reaction kind of way, right? It looked like sort of goofy physics. Could you do it
Yeah,
again?
yeah. Go back in, try to grab that stone again.
What do you want to do when you're touching the stone?
I want to take it.
Okay. Um, you touch the stone again. You feel the same sort of odd, as if everything was winking off and on, because neural system is
Yeah.
being fiddled with. And your reaction once again is to yank your hand away. And when you do, the thing yanks itself away from you. You almost get the feeling like you're telling it what to do, and it's doing it. Like it's reading your mind. And if this were a working machine, you might be able to think where you want to go and it takes you there
I'm gonna
at
try
possibly
something.
high speed.
I want to try something because this thing's reacting in a similar way that I am. So it's like I don't know. It's like what I do, it does. So it's like we're same
You okay,
wavelength
Thom?
or something.
Wrong tube.
That's exactly it.
Okay.
Swallow the
Just trying to make sure
water,
you're not
water
choking.
down the wrong side.
Yeah.
Do not choke like that on live camera. This will be very awful and cursed. Please don't.
That would be
So
my big Halloween prank, to have somebody shoot me in the head while I'm here on.
it's
Do a luck roll, Jack.
oh oh my gosh! I rolled exactly my luck, 62.
Okay. So when you touch the stone this time, and what are you trying to tell it to do?
I think what I'm trying to tell it, I don't. I think what I want it to go up in the air again, but I want it to stay there in front of me. And I'm
Okay.
really trying to will myself not to jump away from it. That way it doesn't get confused.
All right. So in fact, for a moment, it starts to levitate and it's sort of shaky, as it's doing it. And then you can start to smell something like ozone, and you're seeing sparks inside the other parts of the mechanism. And this little tube opens up in the base of it, and it squirts this sort of clear, viscous liquid on you. It feels like oil, and it splatters on you. But as it does that, the whole mechanism sort of short circuits, and the whole thing crashes to the ground, smoking. You're not sure what the liquid is.
I think it likes you, Buzz.
Well, I think it did a little what I wanted it to.
Well, I was wondering if the thing was as potent, why they would leave it behind just because it was damaged. It seems as though it's a bit too damaged to be made functional or whole. Does that fluid burn or anything?
No, it feels a little cold because of it being a liquid. But as you're looking at it, and I see you rubbing some of it on your hands, it evaporates almost immediately, and the stuff that's on your clothes very quickly just starts to evaporate, and it doesn't leave any kind of stain.
Huh.
I think we should put the parts of this thing that we can collect in a satchel to investigate further later.
Yeah.
No reason to leave these things about.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can get as many parts as we can without wasting over much time here. We're not going to be out in the jungle any later than we need to be, after all.
Wonder if they just left only this one behind, if there were more, or if this stone carried the whole craft. I mean, that would be insane.
They could have had a few of these vehicles and only one broke. Well, as we're collecting pieces, we should also see if there's any indication, perhaps this pod or whatever was hit by shrapnel when it was a week earlier that the battle took place. Well, if there's anything that indicates how it was damaged.
Three-toed footprints anywhere around?
I mean, the materials are so lightweight. I'm confident in saying this thing is the propulsion system of this thing.
What is the shape of this thing? Or like the size comparison? Are we talking about something that's like the size of a casket?
It's like a sphere.
It's a sphere. Your guess is it would be probably about 7 feet around, or 7 feet in. What's this, diameter? No.
Diameter.
Yeah, this is diameter.
Yeah.
Maybe 7 or 8 feet diameter.
I mean, maybe it can carry the light craft, but what about the cargo of the craft? If there's snake people inside there, they weigh No, like normal, right?
I mean, I guess. I mean, somebody picked one up, so I assume it human weight.
It also looks like bits and pieces of this are scattered all around this area from the crash. Maybe other things as well.
If we can get enough of the mechanical pieces, the glass I'm not too worried about, but if we can get enough of the mechanical type pieces just piled together and then pick it up on our way back or something.
Well, we'll say you have a sack if you want.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Sack
sure
with
we
you.
have some burlap with us. There might
Okay.
be some mummies or things.
Yeah.
Is there any sort of actual impact crater, or does it seem as though it might have burst before it hit the surface?
No, it does. It does look like it mashed down the ground and the bushes that it landed in.
But it didn't embed itself in the soil at all.
Uh-uh.
It smushed in, sort of
It
a controlled descent or a
if you
limited
had
crash.
if you had a way of figuring out, none of you are really scientists that would be able to figure out impact and based on the indentation, how fast it would have been going. But
Yeah,
it looks like it would have been
sort of
going
physics.
pretty fast. Like a car off a cliff. Boom, hitting the ground. And as you are standing there now looking around, you realize you're not precisely sure which direction you were going. You diverted just slightly, but you think that direction,
What about
Nobody-
Fern?
Oh, Fern knows.
Yeah,
So
Fern
ask
knows.
anybody brought a compass.
Oh,
I'm gonna say
She's been.
you don't need
Fern
one,
is
hun.
eidetic memory.
We were headed that way.
Thank you, Miss Meadows.
No worries.
Fern knows the exact tree that we were heading to.
You actually start back on your trail, but you don't get more than 50 feet away from the little crash site that you hear a weird sort of popping sound, like it's hard to describe. It's kind of a like this. You hear it off in the jungle over to your side,
Fern
and
can't hear it.
you hear monkeys or like howler monkeys suddenly screeching, and you almost think that you can see something over in that area that suddenly lights up the area, but you don't know what it is.
Does it sound like gunfire?
Well, not like a gun going off, more like like it's hard to come up with ideas, but like if you punctured a tire all of a sudden and it went like that.
Worth investigating, you all think?
It's kind of in the
Oh.
direction you're going.
Yeah, anything in this jungle that isn't what we would consider natural is probably worth following up.
Yeah.
Well, I
agree.
think we
Yeah.
better be sneaky about it
Yeah.
because we don't know what's up there.
Yes.
I'm-
Why don't
I'm
you
gonna-
and Goose take the lead? You can direct him and he can be sneaky. Yes, Green?
I want to pull out my 38
Mhm.
and just have it. I'm a thin-looking dude with a big gun, and I look very precarious. This does not belong in my hand, and I'm just looking very nervous.
You work your way a little bit into the jungle, and you hear the sound again. It sounds a little closer. It sounds up high up in the canopy, and you think that you see a flash of sort of orange light for a moment, and a number of howler monkeys come rushing through the branches of the trees, moving over your head and away from whatever it is that's in that direction.
Proceed with caution.
Yeah, I don't like this, Goose. I can't I don't hear what y'all are hearing, but these monkeys are acting like they're scared.
Um, a few moments later, in the branches of a tree, you see a large howler monkey. They're fairly large, about the size of a 7-year-old child. They're black and they're pretty agile. They have a pouch here under their neck that they can fill up and make that sort of sound. And this one seems pretty excited. And you think that the other monkeys are running away from him.
Mhm.
And he sees you and uh, makes kind of a display of, like you're in its territory,
Mm.
and you realize it has something in its hands.
Mm-hmm. Something a monkey shouldn't be playing with, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Yes.
What does he have in his hand? What shape, or can I?
It looks, well, sort of like a gun, but a weird shaped gun.
Mm-hmm.
And as he suddenly looks down at you, you see him sort of fiddle with it and kind of try to point it in your direction. And a
I'm
huge plume of flame comes shooting out of the gun like a flamethrower. Um, I'd like you to all do dodge rolls to see if you
Oh,
can get
shit.
out of the way.
so. Ooh.
66. What's that?
Oh, can you use luck on dodge?
Yes.
Oh, good. I only need 2.
I don't have enough luck to spend to not get hit.
Am I gonna spend 39 luck? No, I'll tank the hit. I'm
Yeah,
a big boy. I can.
I would have to spend 51 luck. Uh, that would not be reasonable.
I got a hard success.
All right.
I
So
don't know.
Dr.
Good time to be
Green
skinny.
is very good at shooting off things. So this plume of fire.
Bye, guys.
Those of you who failed, you're going to take 3 points of damage, and it's probably going to light some bits of your clothing on fire.
Stop, drop, and
just-
roll.
I'm going to let the people who managed to dodge have the next move. What do you guys want to do?
How far away is this monkey with this flame-throwing pistol?
Probably only about 15 feet.
I kind of like when I dodged out of the way, I imagine I kind of fell flat on the ground. I kind of just had to kind of scrounge for my gun a little bit, and I'm just firing wildly up at it. Go
Okay.
as many
Do
shots
a-
as I can, not really even aiming that well.
Do a firearms roll.
Um, I will spend 14 points of luck.
Okay. Go ahead and roll
to
for
make that a
damage.
success. Okay.
Damage would be,
Yeah, for a
kind of gun do
38.
you have?
It was a
38,
D10, I
yeah,
believe.
it's a D10. D10, yeah.
7.
All right. You basically shoot the monkey. It doesn't have many more than 7, I don't think. So you hit it, it screams, it lets the gun go, it falls from the tree, clutching its chest as it hits the ground and goes limp. And the gun follows after it and hits the ground. What do you guys want to do?
I'm just
I'm
looking
patting out
around at
fire.
everybody.
Yeah.
Getting
Make
myself
sure.
off of fire.
Okay.
Then I want that
Yeah.
gun.
I'm
Me
just
too.
looking around at everybody like I can't believe what I just did.
I
Did
just
y'all
want
see
to.
that?
I just want to look at it.
I didn't
I
know
don't
you were
wanna
such
get
a good
near it.
shot, Dr. Green.
The gun itself is kind of weird. It's made out of metal and bits, and it's got the general shape of a gun and a sort of a trigger. You're not sure where the reservoir would be if it's like a squirt gun, but yeah, you got yourself a fire pistol.
I just look it over and then I'll probably hand it off to Goose. I just kind of want to try to figure out how it works, but I'm not much of a gun guy.
If a monkey could figure it out.
That's true. That's true.
Then you only have to roll with disadvantage. You will be fine.
And I'll thank Buzz, but I'll look to Dr. Green unless, it was your shot, unless you want it. Dr. Green?
I think I'm fine.
You're gonna trust him with that? No.
It seems I cast a sidelong glance at Fern as soon as she says that, though. On second thought, maybe. I'm not sure. You know what, Goose? I think you got it.
I
You
think,
seem to be the best shot out of all of us, I think.
like the mysterious green crystal, this is something that we should stow carefully and research later. I don't think we need to set the jungle about us on fire fiddling with this. I hope that one of the juvenile males of that pack of monkeys appreciates his good fortune, having lost the alpha like that. Uh, if this monkey grabbed this from one of our opponents, that they could be headed in this direction following it, or perhaps there was a stash of things that the snake men left behind. At any rate, Fern, if you can direct us where the pack fled this way from, we should probably see if there are other dangerous toys stashed back there. I feel like we keep going from detour to detour, but
Do an intelligence roll for me, Dr. Haro. I maybe don't even need that.
regular only.
Yeah. It is within the sort of area of the crash. So it could have been something during the crash that just got lost by whoever
Right.
crashed.
He could have been handling the shiny thing for a few days and just now figured out where the squeezy part was.
Yeah.
Right.
And managed not to blow his own head off.
Yeah, maybe he
Process.
wasn't even the alpha a week ago. Maybe he's the third in a row.
For a little bit, he was the king of the jungle. All right.
Now I'm the king of the jungle.
So I'd say probably within the next 45 minutes or so, you finally come to a place where the jungle is pretty overgrown, but you do find this large 50-foot across pillow stone. It's partly overgrown with ferns and moss, but it is intact. And you can see very clearly that there are these symbols and marks and pictograms all over it. Oh, what do you want to do?
Well, Dr. Green, now your expertise comes into play.
Oh, yes. So I walk forward and I want to look at what is here.
While there are still depictions of strange characters and stuff, a lot of it looking like that language, there's other things that don't look like the language. They look like symbols. They don't look like our astrological symbols, but there's reasons to believe that they do look somewhat like that. And Dr. Jude, if you do a spot hidden for me.
Oh, 05.
Very nice. You get the very strong impression that it's primitive magic. It's the stone is more like a ward that destroyed the previous one was destroyed. That may have triggered the release of the magic that hid the temple in the ground.
Does,
Yes.
does,
Go ahead.
Does the stone look like something from Earth? Does it look like a regular Earth rock, or is it something
Yes.
other? Okay.
Yeah. No, you're guessing it might be granite or something like that. And it looks like maybe it was at one time polished smooth, but it's been thousands of years. So
Are the symbols of the word and the writing, are they incised into the stone?
yes,
Uh-huh.
they're incised into the stone. And they also seem to be pretty well preserved, as if something magical kept them that way.
Mhm.
Well,
It must have
Doctor
weighed a ton.
Harrow, I'm not exactly sure
Quite a
how
few.
old this is, but it's been here for quite some time. If you look over here, there seems to be a primitive astrological look right here, and I'm just kind of just looking at it, but it's old. It predates anything that even I have expertise in.
Yes, well, again, I'm hoping you can work on the writing if we could make sounds out of it. Perhaps eventually we can compare it with some of the noises we've heard on the radio. But yes, I assume it's tens of thousands of years old, like the one we descended. Uh, we don't want to rupture it.
No,
But
because
we would like
if
to
you're
understand what it means. Of course, it's also so old that even if this was the sky from this location, the constellations will have shifted over that period of time. I'm sorry, Stony?
yeah, I was going to say if you're right and we knock the tops off of all these things, the whole temple could just raise right out of the ground. And I'm not sure we want that exactly.
I would think
Ah,
we'd like
But
to let sleeping snake goddesses lie.
I
something
agree.
that maybe I should. I did bring this up to Fern earlier. We were out here specifically looking for a mummy, not necessarily a snake temple. Is
Well,
this
didn't Shapiro say that he was using mummy as a sort of simplified term for an
Hmm.
important artifact that the snake people are happy to kill human beings and enslave monsters to garner? If they do as we are have been told, wish to destroy life, we probably don't want them to get a hold of that artifact. I mean,
so?
I'd rather
Well,
work for
this
Caduceus than the Inner Knight if I had a choice, just based on how they
so
self-identify.
if that is the case, and we are to find this temple and retrieve the artifact, does this mean that we need to release the mechanism just like the last one? Raise this thing out of the ground?
I was
Is that
under
what
the
you're
impression
suggesting?
Mm.
I was under the impression the mummy was already free somehow or roaming around somewhere. Otherwise, how would they know about it?
What if they're not trying to bring her up? What if they're trying to keep her in?
But what does that have to do with raising a city, a temple,
Because
anything?
maybe they're afraid of her. I don't know where these creatures are coming from, but they're out here. She's down there. Why are they out here and she's down there? Maybe they're trying to keep her down there because she was, the big cheese and they're afraid of her. Maybe she'll take care of business.
And you
It,
want
it,
to let
it,
this thing out to take care of business.
Well, if it means getting these things out of here, I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming that this dream woman, lizard person, is the mummy, and that's what Caduceus wants.
I mean, if what Giorgio told me is true about the stories of this woman, you know, she's supposed to come back and ascend everyone up to the dream world. And I don't, I'm gonna hazard a guess that there's probably some truth to that. What we don't know is if that's a good thing or a bad thing, and we don't know exactly what the Air Knight wants to do. Do they want to ascend? We don't know what the snake people want to do. So,
Well, this
But
all
our goal
seems
that
to
we
have
were
started
given,
with that first pillow popping off.
yeah,
But
yeah.
and then the chaos erupted. So that was the trigger for them to start doing what they're doing. I'm thinking they want to keep her down there where she is.
It seems to be. I agree with you, especially after seeing the pictograms and whatnot in the last pillow. It seems like she was. Now I couldn't tell if she volunteered to go into the ground or if she was put there. I couldn't quite gather that from the pictures. But yeah, I do think you're correct that at least the snake people probably want to keep her where she is.
but either way, the object we're looking for is this temple that we are supposed to raise. It is in there. Is that what I am understanding from everything that everyone is coming together with?
Oh, I don't think we
Or
have
is
all
there
the
a separate
information.
temple?
It
No,
might be
we
that something came out of the channel that was exposed and is wandering free. Something that was meant to be part of the complex.
Because if there's a separate temple, then we have no need messing with any of this.
Unless this is the way that the temple is raised, the temple is to be
If that's
raised.
the
Perhaps we
so
should
we were
continue along the points of the pentagram and see if we can piece something together. And again, if you could just read the writing that the reptile people wrote, we don't have a Rosetta Stone. I know that I'm rather asking the impossible of you, but it would be very handy to know what it said.
Right. And each pillow might say something different.
Hmm.
It might be a piece of the story.
We don't even know if there were, in fact, red, blue, and gold snake factions which we've been fighting with. Hell, we could be in the middle of a reptile war and not know.
You
And
think
to be clear,
I'm just trying to.
I was describing the way the pictograms look to you. What they mean might not be what you see.
Mhm.
I did also wanted to say that on this pillow, there is a very clear indication of where the other pillows are. So you've got a line. You can see from what Giorgio told you which direction to go next, if that's your intention.
So our job was to come out here to find this, secure it, and bring it back to Caduceus. So therefore, secure it means raise it and loot it.
that is the crux of the instructions. However, the reality of the situation may prove that that is not the ideal objective.
We may get to the middle and find a way in without having to raise it. I mean, we just have a lot of incomplete information at the moment. We have one pillow that's been exploded, and this one's intact. We don't know what the next three are going to look like.
we can already easily find the middle from here, but maybe we should check out the other pillars first. But if we have one angle. If we bisect it and we draw a straight line, follow the line straight, we'll get there eventually.
Yeah, yeah. We can certainly even derive a clear compass from this stone and its marks and a compass reading. We assume that the others are intact. Only one was destroyed by the mortar.
We also assume the temple hasn't been raised yet, but we don't know for sure. I don't think so, but we don't know, is my point.
No, I don't think that the shaft would have been deep the way it was had the temple had been raised. And I think the earthquake would have been more substantial, but we are speculating wildly. If we go toward the center, we will also get closer toward the other points of the star, just not in the most efficient way possible.
Just for my visualization, keep it like, how big is this stone exactly?
The stone is about 50 feet across.
And how high is it?
Oh, it's only about maybe 2 feet high, but it bubbles up in the center. So it's like a big manhole cover on top of a.
Okay, yeah, I imagine like it being like 30 feet or so. Okay.
No.
So
You could walk across the top of it if you wanted to. Without
I don't know if I want to, but
Should we search around for another mechanism that if these things are meant to sink down and then they rise, does that mean there should be something that would allow them to rise, something to trigger that?
No, I think this is meant to
Maybe
keep
it was destroyed in the last location.
Yeah, no, I think what was destroyed was the ward that sealed that vertical shaft away from the world and contained something inside it, perhaps. I don't think this is meant to be. It's not the cork of a bottle of wine, but a waxen seal meant to stop something from opening. My metaphors are not good.
But the only thing that we could conclude that would be in there was probably the big black ooze thing. But
It's a
there was
very
no
good
mechanism.
reason not to open this thing either, because I don't really want to deal with one of those again.
Yes, I
I
certainly
don't
hope that
either.
wasn't the mummy. It would be very hard to ship that back to New York at any rate.
Take many bottles.
Yeah.
I mean, how big
So-
could this thing have been? I think you're all exaggerating a bit when you describe it, but yeah.
If
Oh,
these
right.
if these large corkscrewed mechanisms, if it's supposed to be something that rises out of the ground that's 1,000 feet deep, I really don't think a small rock is what's going to stop it from rising.
Again, the stone is incised with magical symbols. It's not the weight of the stone, it's the temple structure itself that's designed to contain something.
So theoretically, even
Yeah,
if we
it's like
wanted
those
to raise it,
little tokens that I heard the Chinese use to ward off evil spirits and stuff. Something like that, Doctor?
I think something along those lines, yes. And
so
again, so perhaps, I mean, we believe there are factions involved, yes? So the temple was made to descend and perhaps also to rise, but maybe not everyone wants it to rise. What
By
we
that
don't know
logic,
is whether
though,
we
if-
do or not.
if we want it to rise, we could just destroy one or two of the symbols on the stone. We don't even have to destroy the stone necessarily, like a chisel and a mallet.
I imagine
hammer.
You don't have any more grenades, do you?
I
I got-
unfortunately gave them all to Jack.
I think a grenade or two would probably be as effective as the errant mortar shell. I think a chisel might prove to be difficult if this thing survived the last 40,000 years or what have you. But an explosion might cause enough damage at once to unseal whatever is held within.
Well, I just can't believe that all this would have been here for this amount of time, and no one in this area would have any knowledge, at least in their folklores or something. I mean, we just talked to this one little village. Maybe there's another village that's closer by that can tell us more.
And
Sure.
on that note, it has been here this long. How has a tree not fallen on this rock and broken the rock? It's just a rock. It's a jungle. There are trees everywhere. They fall over all the time.
I think probably
I mean-
some magical ward that also keeps it safe from.
Human beings lose cities in jungles. populations ebb and flow, and the jungle swallows up marks that are made by man. But stone can survive inside for eons. We've seen that elsewhere. At any rate, maybe if we move toward the center, something there will give us a sharper indication of our intention. And I feel strongly about one thing in terms of our uncertain intent. The reptilian humanoids that enslave people physically and hypnotically, and who summon enormous reptilian dogs and slimy, multi-limbed, mouthed and eyed creatures that mankind should not see. I'm pretty sure we are against whatever they're doing. I think we know who the baddies are.
And I'm sorry to mention this, but a thought did just occur to me. Now that we have the second point, the second pillow that we've discovered, if we're being followed, which we have left marks for us to follow to get back, and they find this, they now know where the other 3 points are, minus this one and the last one.
Well, yeah, whatever they're searching for quadrant by quadrant isn't the pillows. They're looking for something else. Maybe they're even looking for the remnants of their craft, although that doesn't seem as though that was that hard to find. But that's the direction we headed out in. If we are being followed, that's all the more reason to make haste, I should think.
Jack, do you want to set up one of those nice little alarms that you can with the strings and the grenades that you have and leave it behind us perchance? That way, if someone does follow us here, maybe it won't be so easy for them to make it to the next pillow.
Probably going to blow up a armadillo or something, but
Yeah, I think we're dealing with a bigger area. We've kind of had entry points where we were, and I mean, I've only got 3 grenades, so I could only set one up, and it'd be a lot of just dumb luck that anyone following would walk through. I mean, they got all this space. It's not, I don't know. And if we're planning on maybe blowing one of these things up, I guess the grenades might be better for that. We just have to be aware of our backsides, I guess.
and while we're having this debate, I should probably be treating everyone's burns. It just seems unreasonable to leave people blistering, and that
You're just talking while everyone is smoking gently from their skins.
Oh, I'm fine. But
don't
thank
rub
you.
it in.
Minor birds. Fern probably knows some medicinal plants that she can make poultices of that will work.
Rub a little aloe vera on it. You'll be okay.
2 regular.
Rub a little
that's
dirt
a
in it.
desert plant. 2 regular medicine rolls and 1 hard. So that covers 3 of us.
I'll
So
take
I heard a lot of ideas of what you were going to do. I heard
Indeed.
that you're going to go to the next one. I heard that you're going to go towards the center. I heard that you're going to try to deface the pillow, and you're going to set traps. Which ones do you decide on?
I think
I would
defacing
suggest.
is.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think defacing would be a very grave mistake.
No, I'm definitely against it as well.
With the information we have now, I would not suggest defacing it. Let's get some more intel before we make that decision from which we cannot return.
So it's either
Should we go to
middle.
the center?
Right. Well, my thinking is that the center, the temple, is completely buried. I don't know if we'd actually be able to see anything from the surface of it. At least at these pillows, we can get some pictograms, some writing, something for Dr. Green to, look at.
I agree. I want to go to the next pillow first. Now, I changed my mind.
It's fine by me.
I'm good with that.
I refer to the majority.
All right. Sounds like we're moving. Maybe we'll do the pillows today before it gets dark, and having gather that whatever data that way we can attempt the temple tomorrow if we run out of time.
That's a good plan.
So, and were you going to set traps or not?
No,
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, too
All right.
too wide a space.
That's good because it could be that the villagers come to check on the pillows and you blow them up.
We
Blow
do
up a
kill
child with
Georgiel
purple
after
flowers.
all.
All right. So you're walking, and once again, it's probably about 45 minutes or so before you get to the next one. And this is in a different sort of area. It's a little drier here, a little lower brushes. But once again, that stone is pretty much in fairly good condition. You can also see that there's some remnants of maybe fruit or flowers or something that are put in the middle of the stone that have rotted away. Obviously, it's been a year since the last thing. Once again, it's got very similar symbols and markings on it that definitely seem to have astrological significance. Do any of you have astronomy?
No, but I do
No.
want to I do want to make rubbings of these things if the ones that aren't too big to even handle, and maybe take photographs. We can compare if the stars are different on different stones, they might tell us something.
That's
Or
kind of what I
maybe
was
it's the
getting
exact
at.
same thing.
Dr. Harrow, you have occults, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
So you probably are familiar with astrological charts and things like
Yeah.
that. When you look at them, you can make a roll.
Gonna have to think on this more, says 95.
Okay.
Spend the luck. Spend the
95
luck.
is not. There's times you spend luck and times you don't. And when it's
I have some occult. I could try.
You can
Try.
try.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm saying,
remember-
I think this might be Arcturus, but again, the constellations will have
37
changed.
over 50.
more
So
occulty than that.
Dr. Harrow, when you look at it, you're very interested because you think, that's definitely similar to the night sky, but you're not sure if it's in all the right positions.
Mhm.
But Fern, when you look at it, you can tell that it's off. This would have had to have been what the sky looked like maybe 13 or 14,000 years ago. Not completely different, but different enough. The North Star definitely was not the North Star at that time. It would have been another star nearby. So there's definitely, you're getting a kind of a maybe 13 or 14,000 years, whoever carved this. That's pre any
Yeah, that's
civilization
predating.
of-
Yeah, that's predating any of the native tribes that were in North America at the time.
Well, after all, we don't have a oral history even of the time we were enslaved by the lizard people. So
13 to 14,000 years. That's not even the language necessarily that we're going to be able to decipher.
well, I mean,
Egypt was 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 years ago. Now double that.
well,
the
I think you want to
birth
think of it
of-
as a code rather than. Sorry, Goose?
I think the birth of human civilization is like 10 or 12,000 years ago. So it's
Yeah.
like before we started going into like small towns and farming and stuff like that.
No, the humans that serve these people, if the reliefs are to be believed, or before we became civilized as we understand it. And we don't know what the big furry things in the bas-reliefs are either. To the best of your recollection, Fern, is the star map on this identical to the one on the previous pillow, or are they slightly different?
They're the
Does it
same.
look the same? Yeah.
They're the
No,
same.
they look the same, Dr. Harrow. I don't understand. We would have to do some mathematics to figure up how they would line together in today's world.
Mm-hmm.
And how accurate could they have been done by people that far back? Anyways, all the time that you've been out in the jungle, it's been hot, it's been steamy, it's been, it's always hot and steamy in the jungle. You haven't seen any clouds overhead at all. But I'd like you to all do a listen roll.
That I can succeed on.
Nope, I cannot.
That's a hard.
I had 20 exactly.
Okay. So who passed? Raise your hands.
The one that can't hear.
So those of you who didn't pass, as you're standing there, you hear what sounds like thunder. It rolls through the sky, and it's fairly dim at first, and it gets loud as it rolls the way thunder does. But those of you who passed, you realize that didn't really sound like thunder. It sounded like dynamite going off somewhere way off in the jungle. And no sooner does it sound across the sky that the ground under your feet begins to shake, and it gets strong enough that it knocks you off your feet. Well, you can do a dexterity roll to see if it knocks you off your feet. It shakes the trees all around you.
Seems like
Yeah,
someone's
it knocked me
forcing the
down
train.
hard.
Yeah,
I fell
my
over.
ass.
I could spend
It
one luck to not
rolls
fall
through the
over.
ground. You're not
I
going
have
to
a
get
heart.
injured.
Yeah, it didn't feel like a expenditure of luck situation.
So was that
And-
the pillow behind us or the pillow ahead?
Well, it sounds like it wouldn't have been the one behind you because that would be too close. This sounded like way off. Like it sounded like
Great.
thunder. They may have
It's-
found the other one. Their search pattern was heading in that direction.
Think they may have made the choice for us.
Yeah, they
If
went
we
the
want to
opposite
uncover
way.
these or not.
And the earthquake itself doesn't, it rumbles for quite a while, for like almost a minute. You can feel it rumbling in the ground
As if
as if something was
coming up.
pushing
Shifting.
its way up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
It's
And the pillow where we're at, does that do, is there any change or any vibration here or
you
sound?
get little bits of, dust coming off of it, but you're getting that from everything around you in the jungle.
You
It
said-
doesn't seem to shift or move.
You said vaguely in the middle of all of these, it was kind of hilly. Is
Yeah,
it
it's
getting
a little hilly.
hillier?
Not that you can tell.
You cannot see it through the trees, right? It's so far away, and
But we don't see
Yeah.
like
You're-
trees fall over and trees start growing up out of the center either.
Well, you're probably figuring that the center from where you are would be a couple of miles to the center.
right. So they're seeking the pillows, blasting through. They intend to raise the temple. Essentially, we have to stop being defensive, I think, and go on the offense, because they presumably can continue to find explosives. And
Well-
What are you saying? That we hunt them?
no, we go to the center now. If they are at a different pillow and they just blew it up and this thing races to the center, then we're on for a race towards the temple in the center.
I see.
I don't
unless
think
they
that
have to
temple's
do all
coming.
five.
Yeah, I don't think that temple's coming up unless they blow the tops off all of them.
Right.
Should we not?
So we just let
wait?
them do all the work? We just camp out at the center until it's all done?
Well,
I
I
don't
think-
think we want the temple coming back.
Yeah,
I
Should
think
we
we want
not
to stop
wait?
them.
At a pillow and make one of the pillows impenetrable. As soon as they come near it, we wipe everyone out.
well, I think they're coming this way, so I think we just move up to the next pillow, we probably should try to get to the one beyond that.
Or a few of us go towards the center and a few of us go towards the next pillar. Cover all our bases.
Won't be a lot of fighting at the center, probably, Dr. Green. You want to go to the center?
I'd prefer not to go by myself.
Oh, no, not
Just
by
in
yourself.
case. If
Well,
this
I-
is
I
the
don't
case,
understand
we
how
are
we're
not the
gonna-
only ones thinking the same plan either.
Yeah,
For all we
I
know,
don't
there's an
understand.
encampment of them ready
Well,
for this thing to raise up out of the ground.
I
And
think-
they're
I
only
th-
having the minions go around and blow them up.
I think the general plan idea is we go to the pillow and kill them to stop them.
Well, aren't they just going to come here?
But I don't think we want to risk them blowing up 3 pillows and then this be the last one.
Oh,
Well-
so you're saying intercept them before
Yeah.
they get to the next. I see. Oh, all
Yeah.
right. Now I'm on the same page.
We could always enlist the help of the village because this is their religious monuments as well. They
I don't
camp
think
out at
we
one,
have-
we camp out at one.
I don't think we have time to go back and come back. It's only about a 45-minute walk between 2.
The first one was destroyed accidentally, and so they didn't have the marks on the top that showed them the directions to go. And that's why it's taken them so long to reach another, perhaps.
Well, the
But now that
marks
they've seen that,
the marks that Giorgio showed you are not obvious. You have to know what you're looking for. So it's possible that they could go. They might not know where the next pillar is.
I don't know. I feel like they know a lot more about all this than we do. So
Oh.
I would think they might can figure it out.
then
If
why
you
have they
go-
taken 2 weeks to get to the second pillow?
Well, I think
They had just had 1 data point. Now they have 2 data points
Yeah.
for this equilateral pentagram or a 5 thingy. So
if we're going to move, we probably should.
I think
'Cause,
we
mean,
How
should-
far away are we away from the village?
We're farther from
Oh.
it than the first pillow,
You've been walking for a few hours.
and it's on the other side of the river. I think we need to hope that they've descended into the chasm they just opened up, and we can trap them in there and press the matter. I don't want to wait until 4 of these things have been dynamited and hope to
Nope.
stop them at the last.
Yeah, I agree. I think we just hop pillow to pillow, or unless we have a straighter line to where they are.
We know 2 of them haven't been blown up, but that's all we know.
Jack, there
This
would
one
be a
and the last
straighter
one.
line to where they are.
Yeah.
If you did go through the center,
Mm-hmm.
you'd get to the other side of the pentagram, probably
Okay.
as they were about to find the third pillar.
Then we go through the center. Anybody wants to stay and investigate or defend that area can, and then the rest of us push towards the pillow. But I think
Well,
we gotta,
we don't. We,
gotta
don't
get
even know
moving.
how many of them there are.
Well, I mean, I don't think we have much choice unless we're just going to let them
I guess we're
pop
gonna
the
try the
lids.
monkey's gun.
The good news is that we know that they were anxious about our arrival when they were talking on the radio, and that there are fewer of them now than there were then, since we dissected one. I think we want to press the battle.
And we know how to get them unmesmerized pretty quickly too.
If they have troops, yes.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you can call one of those goopy things for us. Use it
I have-
against them.
I have the horn. I don't know that I have the code. I think that would be an act of last resort. I
Yeah.
like the idea of standing on one side of a great pit and calling one of those things from the other side and having it fall down and consume them. But I think we'd be relying on a great deal of luck in that regard.
I
So
say,
let's hoof it.
yeah.
Onward.
Okay.
I don't see how cutting through the center is quicker, but it depends on which one of the two they are at. Because there's one open already, and we've had two. But if they're at the next one that's towards the open one, they're going towards the one we were going towards, I think. But I'll follow all of you, whatever.
Because the center is already hilly where the temple sank, we might also be on high ground there. We would be able to see the disturbance once we got higher. But if it sounds like it was farther away than the one that we left, which would mean it's also farther than the nearest one next to us. And it's not the one that was already collapsed, so it's probably more or less opposite. If we can count it, if we can trust our ears.
I'll follow you. Whatever you think is best, Buzz and Dr. Harold.
And you're all going together, or are you splitting up?
I think we're all going together to the
Yeah,
center. Yeah,
I'm
Staying
sticking.
together.
Through the center?
yeah. Because we have to assume they're going to blow it up and investigate, not just blow up and move along. So they're going to still likely be at that one.
All right. So you begin to push through the jungle, and after about a mile, the ground definitely starts to slope up a bit. You also begin to notice places in the hillside that you are climbing up where there's bits of rock that have recently, it seems, had pushed their way out from underground. So it's a little hazardous because it's kind of loose. It's like you're climbing over a huge berm of rock and dirt. You can find a place where a lot of the trees have been toppled, and there's damage everywhere.
And
After
this
another
is
half,
quite recent, these
Yes.
stones projecting themselves out of the soil,
possibly in the last half hour. Yeah.
some of them. Right.
Finally, you get to a place where you start to climb over this berm, and you're looking at the jungle, and you can see that there's damage to the jungle. But up ahead of you, maybe a half a mile away, there is this thing sticking up out of the jungle. And you can definitely see that the ground and the trees and the bushes of the jungle have been shoved sideways, like a great seashell has corkscrewed itself up out of the ground. And at present, it looks like it's about, 80 feet high.
And that's only the uppermost spire of her castle.
You can also see as you get closer that, I mean, it's still got remnants of dirt and plants on it, and there seems to be up near the top of the cone an archway or a doorway.
That
Now
really
the
is quite
question.
beautiful.
Good heavens.
This
I suppose. The question is now, do we want to hurry up the band of that and try to reach that entrance to this citadel and beard whatever beast is inside it? Or do we want to continue across and try to stop them from raising this thing any higher?
My guess is, I don't know, just a guess that they've maybe gone in there, and I'd rather go in there and meet them there instead of them coming out and having just the high ground on us.
Mm.
Well, we also have to remember that once we're in there, and if they blow any more pillows up, this thing's going to move on us.
That's the gamble, is that they're in there and not moving on to the next one. And I don't know how we have to make one choice or the other, or split up.
I'm going to say head in. If they're heading towards the next one and blow that up to raise this thing even more or whatever, they'll eventually still come here. So either they're already in and we can try and get them then, or we arrive before them and we can set up an ambush.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And it's only going to get harder to get inside it as it raises up.
Well, unless there's a doorway that comes out of the
Lower
ground.
down, that's true.
For all we know, this is like one of the tallest spires in the entire thing, and the actual doorway is buried 300 feet down.
I mean, an entrance is an entrance. Yeah, there might be the grand entrance is presumably still well under the surface, but we don't want it to get to the surface. So if we can climb in the upper window, grab Rapunzel there before she even lets her hair down, that's for the best.
We might have a better chance of stopping it from inside it, too.
Yeah. It's a pity we didn't bring more climbing materials.
Or
One
grenades.
doesn't expect, or more grenades. All right. Let's sally forth.
So it's, of course, a little treacherous as you're getting close to it because the ground is very loose now, and there are huge boulders that have been shifted out of the way. Trees are toppled. You have to kind of climb over it all before you get to the base of this thing. And it becomes very obvious that it is continuing underground, that there's more of it probably underground than there is above the ground. It's a weird material. It almost looks, it reminds you of the way a mushroom looks. It's kind of ridged underneath the ledge and smooth on the top of the ledge. Of course, it's got dirt and gravel and stuff on it. So it's a little slippery and treacherous, but it does look like you can follow the spiral up to get to that door. I would like you to do dex rolls as you're climbing.
Ah,
35 over 45.
I'm rolling hot tonight, 30 on a 60.
I'm 2 away from extreme, which I'd happily spend if anyone needs a hand.
I'm spending 17 luck just to pass.
I have a 16, just a hard success.
And Stony, what happened to you?
I rolled a 99.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Good timing on that.
So
We needed a guy on the ground anyways, I guess.
we'll do this. Stony, you've gotten, let's say that 99. You're almost, maybe on the 4th time around going up. So you're probably about 40 feet up in the air, 40 or 50 feet up in the air. And you step on some loose gravel and you head straight towards the edge. Dr. Harrow, if you spend to get the extreme, I'll give you a luck chance to see if you grab him before he goes over.
Sounds properly pulp. So that's 2 off the luck. It's nothing. And that doesn't really change the odds. 29, no problem. Yeah.
You grab him, you both sort of struggle, and you keep him from falling over the edge.
Unlike a lot of my characters, I have a strength of 65 and don't just fall over with you.
Sorry about that.
This all heroic and this all looks heroic and masculine.
oh yeah.
And I'm just
Yeah,
walking behind you, and I'm like, "Stop playing grab ass and let's go."
So you work your way up, and you finally get to this golden doorway. It's very ornate. It seems to have all sorts of motifs that you're now becoming familiar with. This lettering and little snakes and serpents and things like that all around it. Your guess is that the door that leads inward looks like it's a mechanism that slides to the side, that it has just recently been opened. It doesn't look like it was forced. It looks like perhaps the breaking of the second seal opened the door.
So how much of a gap
Oh,
Is
it's
it?
it's at least 5 feet wide and maybe 9 feet high, the doorway.
Oh,
And
okay.
you
So,
can see inside. It looks very much like the inside of a seashell. It's very smooth and very pearlescent, um, kind of pretty.
And
What does it
These
feel like?
It's smooth like glass.
Just smooth?
Yeah.
are
are
these
there
guys
any
actually
light
snakes,
sources
or are they like
inside?
snails?
Well, you both talked at the same time.
Sorry. You,
Dr. Harrell, what did you say?
Wondering if there's any light coming from within.
Well, I mean, you definitely can see a glow, but you think it might be the sunlight filtered through the
The
seashell.
shell-like material.
Yeah,
Not torches or any obvious source of internal
no,
light.
no. And Dr. Lloyd, what did you say?
oh, I really wasn't saying anything. I didn't mean to cut him off. I was just saying, are these actually like snails and not like snakes? Like, are we in like a really big mollusk shell, like of like a sea snail?
At this point, it sort of feels that way. Um, though, I mean, do you have any biology?
Oh no,
Imagine the size
no,
of the
no,
mollusk.
no, no.
I mean, I have got a 50 in biology, in addition to the medical question. 86. It's not natural,
Okay.
whatever it is.
Well, I mean, at least you can tell that you don't think that it's actually a seashell, that it's been created to look like a seashell.
Maybe their technology involved growing things rather than manufacturing them. Goose, you're the sneakiest. Do you want to go in first and give us the lowdown?
Sure. I'll be as quiet and sneaky as possible. I'll scout ahead.
You you step into it and you realize the passageway is circular. Um, and you're pretty sure that it's going to wind around the seashell, just like you'd expect a seashell. However, it's obviously not meant for a giant nudibranch. It's carved with an arch above to be perfectly round, but then the ground itself is flat, and there are little stairs. The stairs are only a couple of inches high, and they're very wide, that slowly descend. But very quickly they descend into the darkness. There is a faint yellowish gold glow from the light filtering through the shell, but it probably gets thicker as it goes down.
That makes sense. And eventually you'll be below ground with this thing, so you'll not get
Right.
any light. Once it gets kind of dark, I'll like wait a minute or two, have my eyes adjust to the darkness so I can hopefully see a little better. I don't want to use any artificial light because that'll definitely give me away. So I'm just gonna go by no light as long as I can.
Okay.
And up top, we
Um,
should probably huddle inside the doorway so as not to be visible on the top of this thing at a great distance.
um, do a spot hidden for me.
Me or the
You
up
you
top?
going in. Yeah, going in.
79. Is this one I really want to make or not? Is it like worth 39 luck or not?
No, it's just something that you won't notice. They might notice it once
Okay.
they start going in. Um, you realize very quickly that the spiral as it goes in is going to get wider and wider as you go. Um, but you go in maybe one full revolution around, you now would think that they're right above you. And you notice that there's beautiful golden filigreed patterns and designs all the way around. And then from that point on, once again, there are these paintings, pictograms, uh, that are probably going all the way down. It feels very much like a sacred space.
Very lovely, very beautiful, I presume, but I'm more focused on not being blown to bits, so I'm not going to stand around and watch them. Uh, do I
You think
hear
that
like people talking or
you
anything
hear
up ahead
nothing.
or not? No
You hear
footsteps,
nothing.
nothing.
The air is also surprisingly fresh, despite the fact it's been underground for all this time. But there is no breeze.
That's surprising. Okay, I'll just continue on until I get a sense that it's safe enough for us to, I don't know,
So
like
we'll say
until there's like a branching or something where like yeah.
there's no branching. Let's say after you calculated you've done maybe 3 revolutions, it just seems to be going on and on and on like this. You know that you're not any more than maybe 20 feet lower than where they are.
Okay, I'll report back and think I'll say that at least for the first part it's clear. I think that's probably best before I don't know where I end up.
You also might surmise that if you talk, that the sound carries pretty easily back to where they are. Um, Other
Oh,
than that, it's dead quiet.
so if somebody was talking further below, I'd also probably hear it very clearly.
Probably
But
hear it.
I'm
Yeah.
still not going to shout through this conch, and I'm going to go back and get them.
Okay. So after a couple of minutes, Goose comes back and joins you.
Well, do we think that this means that we can get down there and assassinate the Serpent Queen before the temple rises? Or does it mean that if we explore this, they're going to blow up the other 3 caps and it'll be a fait accompli?
It's hard to say. We don't know how long it's going to take them to find the next cat.
I think, yeah, I mean, I feel like here we have a better chance of stopping whatever from here than trying to catch up to them, engaging in a firefight, you know.
Yeah, and we do need more information, and it seems like the Citadel should be information rich.
Yeah.
So we go in quiet and keep our lights out until we need them?
Yeah.
Or you just pull a grenade and give it a good toss down the conveniently spiral shallow stairs. And we hold on for dear life.
Well, we still got any of that dynamite? That might be even better.
Okay, I don't think we brought any dynamite.
And stuff that in my pockets, unfortunately.
No, I think explosives are again the last resort. Well,
We'll just Goose can just blow a column of fire into every opening we come across.
Do you,
To-
in all honesty, someone want to lower like a torch or something into the bottom to see how far it goes?
well, it's not a well, it's a spiral. It's not gonna. We can't.
It's a tunnel. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Right.
think
And
we,
it's
yeah,
so
there's not a
deep we
middle we
wouldn't
can
be
see
able to
down.
see. Right.
Well, you wouldn't be able to see more than a yard or 2 ahead, or maybe more than that, but because it's curving around
Yeah.
out of your vision, out of your view.
And
Um,
we should probably still do this with torches, though.
Well, yeah. We have light. We used it in the first
Yep.
channel.
it's 1933, so you probably have flashlights,
Yeah.
Yeah.
torches.
Well, yeah, I don't think, we're the first ones in here. So I say, yeah, we go down and maybe we can just set her on fire or something. I don't know.
Maybe there's a go back into the earth button we can press. This seems like,
Maybe
as
I'll-
I said, the most information-rich area. So
All right, so you're going to go down?
I think so.
I would like to know the order in which you're going down.
I would vote fire gun up front.
I can go up front.
Sneaky
yes,
fire gun in front.
I'll remind everybody, yes, I can light a fire and show, get some light in, but we do not know how this thing works. Maybe all of a sudden this thing is dry or empty, and, we don't want to be caught with our pants down. Just don't
No,
rely on it
that's
too
true.
much until we know how this works.
I'll have a grenade ready.
Yeah, no, I'm sure we'll have pistols drawn and whatnot.
Yeah.
Just a friendly reminder,
But you're sneaky, so you go first.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gun mad. I'll go last.
I'll be
Who's going second?
more.
I mean, I feel safe behind Goose.
I'll be more somewhere up front for grenade throwing. Stony,
Okay.
does Stony want to be up front?
Yeah, I'd like to be kind of near Goose as well.
Okay.
That's good for me. I'll stay back there with Dr. Jude.
So we'll say there's enough room for you to walk side by side. So what are we saying? Stony and Goose in the front, Fern and Buzz,
Yeah.
and then Doctor and Doctor together. All right. As you descend, you go about maybe 7 of these. You're seeing once again these paintings on the wall that are telling more or less the same story you've already seen. It definitely has, like when you're looking at Egyptian hieroglyphs and Egyptian wall paintings, there's a story to them, and the story seems to be part of their overall story, and they're telling it over and over again. I would like Gustav and Stony and Jack and Fern to do spot hiddens.
Okay. I pass.
I did not pass.
I did not pass.
70. No.
Okay. So you come around there's also this complex filigree pattern that sort of binds all of the pictures together. Stony, as Gustav steps forward, you notice that the step that he's stepping on looks a little different than all of the other steps.
No.
And as he steps on it, you hear a sort of mechanical noise and multiple siding blades come flying through the chamber you're on. Gustav, you have you're going to get hit, but Stony, you have the chance to dodge out of the way.
Thom,
Okay.
you stole my idea. Last time at the very beginning of this game. You weren't supposed to use it against us.
It's in the book.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to dodge if I can.
Okay.
Okay. I am gonna spend the 14 luck to pass that.
Okay. You dive out of the way. Gustav, you're going to take 6 points of damage.
His Buzz scratch.
Fern
What's
and
this?
Buzz, you don't get hit, but as soon as it happens for you, Buzz, you realize that the mechanism is fairly obvious and that you completely missed it.
I know what to look for now.
And that's where we're going to end it for tonight.
Okay.
With that trap. All right. Our players included Cone Lighton, Carrie Marion, Kent Blue, Julian Arba, Dakota Poole, and David Gassaway, with yours truly as the keeper of arcane lore. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members, you can set up private games, and you can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastering. We provide audio-only versions of our shows for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you'd like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page, or you can use the thanks button just below the screen. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answering any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the universe of H.P. Lovecraft and the Pulp Cthulhu role-playing game. Until next time, good luck and good gaming.